Hail the blizzard.
I don't care how I feel. I ignore it. Ignore how you feel.
But what's a great metal band, but with a really horrible band name?
I love the band, but that has got to be one of the dumbest names I've ever heard in my life.
Oh, someone spilled water in my fat bag of weed.
Some bands that are canceled now and shit.
Fuck metal.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to a very, very special edition of the Blyzzrd Show, because that's what we're calling it here. This is our 420 show that we're doing now. We're doing it a month in advance because scheduling. And I'm here with the man himself. This is the first two-time guest here on the show, Erik from Bonginator. How are you doing, my man?
What up? How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Of course, dude. Of course, man. Always love to have you on here and stuff. You've been putting out some really killer shit over the past few years, and I really want to highlight that, man.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about it. You guys are doing I believe this is the fourth installment of your New England death metal Funtime Bonanza. Let's talk about going through the past few years of it. I know we talked about it last time you were on, just very briefly about last year's lineup, but let's talk about kind of where it came from originally and just, see how it came out for this year's lineup.
Yeah, so I guess the story of it, right? There was one time Vic, my fiance, their old band played a show at this place called Charlie's Hill in Maine. And I went out there and I saw the layout of the space, right? They have a huge property with an indoor venue. And I realized I was this place, it's really far out from kind of any major city. And I immediately thought it's really hard to get out to. This isn't your typical weekend kind of spot, but this is a great spot to do a big festival at. So I immediately, kind of got that idea when I went there and then started formulating the first Bonanza, which was kind of just a one day, a long show. Really nothing too special, but I got all the sickest bands in New England at the time. The headliner that year was Stagnator, who, this year they're playing again.
Nice.
But I originally just called it New England Death Fest. But then one of the guys in Stagnator let me know, hey, just so you know, there's been a couple New England Death Fests in the past. And I was yeah, I'm sure there were. So then kind of as a joke, I was just what if I give it some, obnoxious name? So I called it, the New England Death Metal Funtime Bonanza. And that just kind of stuck.
Nice. It definitely sticks too. It's one of a kind, and it's one of its own. And definitely with I noticed a lot of different fests who've kind of incorporated the term death fest have gotten a lot of heat from the people who run MDF and stuff. People got sent cease and desist letters and shit.
I don't know about that, but I mean, I guess yeah, it is kind of derivative, It is cool to have something creative to yourself. I know around here there's RPM Fest. That just stands for Rock Punk and Metal Fest. A couple of my buddies were talking about it'd kind of be way cooler if it just meant rotations per minute, RPM, it's really fast.
Oh yeah, it's 45 RPM fest.
Yeah, that would be sick.
Nice.
And then of course Full Terror Assault. I take a lot of what I do from Full Terror Assault because we played that 2 years in a row, and it was just the most incredible time I've ever had.
Absolutely.
So, a lot of what we do is kind of just I went there, saw how they were running things, and I took a lot of inspiration from that. So for example, right, the Bonanza's BYOB, the way Full Terror handled that was just absolutely perfect. I realized with that festival, kind of the less restrictions you put on people, the better. It's, it's less work for me. And, it kind of lets people kind of make their own decisions, which, leads You know how like in countries when you legalize all the drug rates go down.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like that philosophy. You know, you kind of
Okay.
take that to running a festival. I saw how the FTA was doing that. I took a lot of inspiration from that. Of course, FTA has the gravy chug, and I loved that. And so, you know, I bring that to New England. I got to make it a New England thing. So we have the clam chowder chug.
Absolutely. Now, the clam chowder chug is like my favorite thing. I remember seeing the video of last year. You were running it, and I think Vic was taking the monitors and stuff. But 1 second, real quick.
Oh,
All good, all good. Just nearly died again, but it's okay.
no.
But yeah, like I was watching the video last year of the clam chowder chug from last year, and like it is so much more intense versus the gravy chug. And I participate
Oh
in the
yeah,
gravy
we
chug
treat it like a
twice.
like it's an Olympic sport.
It is, and you're yelling in people's faces. You're getting in there. You're just like, "Don't be a pussy. Keep it up. Don't do it. Don't fucking
Yeah.
puke." It's intense and it's great,
No,
dude.
the whole point is we want people to puke.
No, yeah,
Um,
definitely. It's incisive at that point.
yeah, so like the way the gravy chug worked is like you just have to chug 2 cups of gravy and then shotgun a beer. And then we kind of took that where you have to chug like a solo cup full of clam chowder and shotgun a beer. And that's like the unit. That's considered one chug. And then you have
Mhm.
to do that as many times as you can in 5 minutes.
Okay, so
So
that all
like
right.
so we're really emphasizing like the puke factor, the thick sludgy chowder with like the carbonated beer. Of course the beer is Gansett. It's New England.
Okay, all
Um,
right. This is like a lighter beer.
yeah, it's like I mean every region has their, cheap beer. Ours
Okay.
is Narragansett.
Oh, Narragansett. I've had them before. They're good.
And then on yeah, Gansett for short. And then on the can it says, the official beer of the clam. So
Oh, it's fitting, dude. It's all together. And I see this also with like there's a fest out in Florida. It's like this giant mud fest where like people are doing these crazy extreme sports, but also they have
oh
bands and
yeah, that's
people
like
are
the
moshing.
motocross event. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
That's shit's sick. It's cool seeing like obviously FTA is no longer around. Rest in peace, FTA. But seeing you and all these other different cool independent like DIY style festivals popping up are just absolutely killer and really cool to kind of give a lot of these younger bands a highlighted spot to kind of come out and
Hell yeah.
perform for everybody. What's
Yeah,
that?
we definitely emphasize the locals. Probably to a greater degree than most other festivals. Right, like it's what I really aim to do is right, we get the sick headliners
Hmm.
and then when I'm considering like the smaller, not locals, but like the like medium level touring acts,
Hmm.
I'm really just looking for bands that, I met on the road touring with Bonginator that I want to bring out to New England and kind of provide like the perfect kind of showcase opportunity for those bands who like most of them have never been to this area before.
Definitely.
So like last year, for example, a big one I wanted to bring was Belushi Speedball. We played some shows with them. Um, I knew they were like the perfect Bonanza band. Self-absorbed, another
Hell yeah.
example. We played a few shows with them. I told them I wanted to bring them out to New England. We made it happen. That's like, that's what I really try to do is, and also get like our local bands to kind of mingle with them, create more opportunities for everyone.
No, definitely. For sure. Like it is really cool seeing a lot of different bands just come out from like these different areas because like you've been touring with how long have you been touring with Bonginator? About like 2 3 years now, probably.
Yeah, we started the first thing we released. I did this on purpose. Was January 1st, 2022, and so I did that on purpose so I could really easily track, our progress.
Definitely, that makes it easier. And dude, you guys have done a lot within that like 3 years now. Like you've done four of these Froginators, which I'm going to touch on in a second. You've done the Bonanza's on its third or fourth incarnation. It's getting even bigger now. Like, fuck, dude. Let's
Yeah,
just talk about the lineup this year. Like, you got Mortician, my guy. You
yeah,
got Mortician, Extinction AD, Putrid Pile, Grotesqueries, all these super killer death metal, thrash metal bands on this bill, man. I gotta give you props for that. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, dude. What's something that you've learned as a promoter coming up with these small festivals, like when Bonanza first started, how it is now? Like, what's something that you learned over the past couple years in organizing it?
Um, well, like one kind of piece of advice I could give that I kind of like to tell people is, you always got to assume that you're like 50% less annoying than you think you are.
Okay.
Um, and I say that because like I sent Mortician probably like 5 emails before one of them got back to me. Um, a lot of people would hesitate because they're like, "Oh, I don't want them to think I'm annoying. I don't want to think them to think I'm a weirdo."
No,
Um,
definitely.
so you always got to lead with that assumption that like I'm actually not that annoying. I'm just trying to get in contact with these guys. That's kind of how I um, you know, establish relationships with a lot of the bands that I'm working with on the Bonanza. Um, I will say it's gotten a lot easier as it's progressed, kind of because we're building a notoriety. Um, for a long time, like the first couple years, I'd say the first 3 years, right? This year was a lot easier. The first 3 years, it's really difficult because a lot of these, like, it's a market, it's Lebanon, Maine. This
Mhm.
is a place like none of these bands have played, let alone heard of ever before. So they're kind of skeptical. It's a weird place to tour out to. Um, like there's not like it's kind of hard to plot your route out there.
Yeah, New England
So
seems very just conglomerated together, where it's really like Hartford, Connecticut, Boston, or Worcester sometimes, or like even like maybe Augusta, Maine.
yeah,
It's
like
very,
the way like I have to book them, right? I put a radius clause in that includes like Boston and Worcester and Manchester, New Hampshire. Just because it's a New England festival, I have to market a lot in those different areas. But on the
definitely.
way out, a lot of bands hit up like New Haven, Connecticut, like you said, or Albany's not too far either.
Yeah, no,
But yeah, we
definitely.
got a lot of bands. We got a lot of bands that were like planning tours that are coming out. And then what I like to see even more is bands that I pick for the Bonanza who then mingle and then set up tours around it. I think that's really sick to see because like us going on tours with other bands, like these are relationships that we make and friendships that we make for life. And so it's really cool for me to see like bands doing that with each other because like, I kind of put them in that position.
Hmm. No, definitely, because you're everybody's there for the weekend. Everybody's either coming in for one day or they're just so local that they're hanging out there the whole time, and
Facts.
everybody has the same goal in mind. Everybody wants to, you know, succeed. Everybody wants to help each other and motivate each other to become better artists, performers, whatever it may be. Because at the end of the day, when one person's doing good, everybody's doing good.
Yeah.
And it's definitely been noted there. And I like seeing a lot of the bands kind of do different routing tracks too. And I saw Extinction AD and Texas Toast Chainsaw Massacre. They're both good doing a couple pre-runs before the Bonanza.
Yeah.
Uh,
Really sick.
RSI and Self-Absorbed, they have their tour coming up. That's going to be incorporated later on into the Bonanza as well.
Mhm.
A lot of really killer shit, dude. So, speaking of festivals, I want to talk a little bit since this is the 420 episode, and this is going to be, I'm going to upload this probably the week of 420 because I'm taking the weekend off. It's my girl's birthday on 420, so we're chilling
Mhm.
at home doing all that good shit. Let's talk about this Weed Violence 2 happening
Hell
in
yeah.
Worcester. Talk about this lineup, my man.
So it's in Boston. It's at the
Okay, it's
movies.
in Boston. My apologies.
Um, and yeah, I set this up with Diabolical Paul. He's my buddy. He's in Judge Judy and Industrial Grade Chemical Cleaner. Um, he set up Weed Violence 1 at Sammy's Patio, and then he hit me up this year. He was like, "Hey, I want to put this at a bigger venue, and I want to I want to, get some bigger bands on it. So he hit me up for that. I helped him book Deterioration and a few of the other bands. Um, yeah, and basically, yeah, it's like a 2-day fest. It kind of gives you a solid taste of the Bonanza but it's like, of course, it's not like the Bonanza because like it's at a venue. There's no camping. Like but as far as like the bands go, there's a lot of repeats from last year's Bonanza. A lot of those bands are playing this year's Weed Violence and vice versa. A lot of bands on this year's Bonanza are also playing Weed Violence. Um, this is the first This is the first show that I've helped work on as like, Bonanza.
Nice.
Meaning like it's like it's not Bonginator helping out with it. It's like, the New England Death Metal Funtime Bonanza, like adjacent.
Yeah, it's like it's taking a life of its own to where you can take it as like sort of like a promotional sort of thing or like a promoter type of gig. Kind of
Right.
like how
Yeah.
RPM does it too. I've seen them do some stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, that's Promoter Head. That's
Promoter
like
head, okay.
his like regular booking, like, throughout the year. And then of course RPM is the big shebang.
Yeah, nice, nice.
RPM, like I'm definitely like great friends with those guys, and we also took a lot of inspiration from them on how they do things. The main difference I've seen is like RPM is much more like family friendly. Um and like whereas like the Bonanza is just kind of like straight debauchery.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's honestly it's great and it serves like a whole other like class of people. Um
Definitely.
but yeah, the Bonanza is definitely more like uh oriented to like the younger scene. We're pulling like newer bands and there's like right like I said, like RPM's not BYOB, the Bonanza is BYOB,
Right.
which kind of just adds like a whole layer of chaos to the whole thing.
No, definitely.
Yeah,
And because not many people drink, and at the same time, not too many people smoke either. So it just makes it easier for people to facilitate their own needs and their own consumption needs at their own rate.
right.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. So let's talk a little bit about you guys just got bummed about maybe a month ago or so. You guys just got off the Froginate Tour 4, which features all the bands. All four of those bands are going to be at the Bonanza this year. That was you
Yeah,
guys, Frog Mallet, RSI, and Trash Panda. Uh,
yeah.
Talk to me about that tour, dude. How was it for you guys?
It was freaking awesome, dude. Like it's almost between like the last tour and this one, there's like just a huge leap in success for us. Like we had way better turnouts. This was like probably the most successful tour we've done to date.
Absolutely.
Um, and that was sick. Like playing in new cities and seeing like the crowds we're getting in these brand new areas are like sick. And I'm like, what the fuck did we do? What happened? Um,
So you sparked something, dude. You have this aura with Bonginator, I think, because
yeah.
you guys are just more. I feel like you guys have kind of evolved yourselves over the past few years from this like sort of gimmick band, kind of going into like being a much more serious name when it comes to a lot of the underground death metal that's out there now.
Well, we're still 100% a gimmick band. Like I have no shame in that.
That's fair. All right, I'll give you
Um,
that.
like we do our thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with being a gimmick band, and I think there's so many bands out there that are gimmick bands that their fans or themselves don't even realize it, but like they totally are. But they just like
It doesn't
admitting
click.
that it's the best example I could give is Blood Incantation.
Okay, I'm
Like
interested.
they have the alien things. It's a gimmick. It's totally there's nothing wrong with that. It's awesome. I love the gimmick.
Yeah, it's really good.
But like, it is what it is.
Definitely, definitely. And you guys,
A lot of their fans hate that I said
Listen, man.
that.
Listen, man. Everybody's entitled to their opinions on here on the Blyzzrd Show, and I like it. I think their last album they did was really killer, kind of going off into a lot more different progressive territories while still keeping a lot of that alien technology themes at play,
Right.
and they just did a really killer job on that last album. But
Yeah, no, it
you
was
know,
sick.
but I'll take it. Blood Incantation is a gimmick band. I like it.
Yeah,
All right, so let's talk about weed.
sure.
Alrighty. What do you have? I asked a couple people in my one of my private channels about this. What do you think is one of the most underrated metal weed songs?
Um, fucking Fire It Up by Disturbed. That shit's so funny.
Dude, it's
Um,
so good.
it's such like a shitty song, and the lyrics of being about weed are like some of the worst lyrics about weed I've ever, read. They're very cheesy, very corny.
Oh yeah, it's the most
Um,
corporate weed song I think possible.
oh, totally,
It's like they
totally.
call it marijuana cigarette.
I just love cringe music. Most of
Definitely.
the music we listen to in the Bonginator bus is just bad music.
You ever like
Um,
go doing the deep dives on IG Reels and like just find the really, really
oh,
bad.
dude, all I get are fucking terrible artists.
I get the one I just saw one the other day where it was this guy, he's like, forced to embrace
Dude, he hates
everything
torch,
stolen.
dude.
Dude, so good.
Dude, I get like 5 of those a day, dude. Those guys just keep pumping out reels.
Oh, dude, it's
And yeah,
fantastic.
fucking I'm trying to think, like, for a while we were really big on Kevin Tierney.
Kevin Tierney, okay.
He's that guy. He's that reel. It's like we were high school sweethearts that couldn't stay because you had to move away. You remember that one?
I don't remember that one. There was one that I had, dude. It just popped up on my IG not too long. I just followed them. I found them through Anti Fantano's page, and it just fucking sent me off on a giant escapade of just really, really bad music. Like this really deep rabbit hole. I'm gonna find it later, I'll send it to you.
Is it a metal band?
No, it's not. It's like this kid, he's like standing in front of a fence and he's like talking about bringing punk back and shit.
Oh, and he's like, is he the one that's like, this is for all the gay Republican punks?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, and he's like inspired by Falling in Reverse and TX2 and Tom McDonald. Yeah, no, that guy blows.
Oh God, it's so good. It's ear candy to me. Feed it.
Dude, the comments on this shit are just so good.
They're diabolical comments,
Like,
dude.
one of my favorites was like, "Don't let the positive comments get to you. This sucks."
God, dude. Oh, and you know that these kids are just loving it too. The people that are putting it out, it's doing good for them at the end of the day. Like any publicity is good publicity because the views are getting up on their videos and it's just highlighting them even more.
I guess so. I think one thing that I always look for, right? Like, it's bad when the comments exceed the likes.
Yeah.
That's like you're cooked.
Oh, definitely.
And
Definitely.
then one thing that's like also, a telltale sign is when you have on TikTok a lot of guys that are like, they'll might get some hate and then they'll have supporters on TikTok, but then their TikTok followers and views are always more than their Spotify streams.
Yeah.
And that's just a sign where it's like, even if you have people that are like supporting you to be nice, they're not going through with actually listening to your music.
No, definitely. And like it's all a metrics game, it's all a numbers game, but like it's just the amount of like if you're not putting out good product, it's gonna show. Like it
Mhm.
may get like the video views that you may like or whatever, but as far as expanding and growing as an artist, it wouldn't really do too much.
Yeah. And I don't like to be mean to like bad artists, but I think it's like you're being just as supportive. Like it's still supporting someone's music for you to be like, hey man, this is bad. Like, like
Yeah.
they have to
Is
have that
you gotta be
sort
the
of
person to
reality
take
of like, maybe you got to try something different, dog.
yeah, maybe this isn't it specifically, but you could take it to somewhere else.
Right. Like the talent's there. You just got to put in more, whatever it is, effort or time or,
Yeah, you got to
whatever.
hone your craft.
Yeah. I see
Uh,
I see I think I see a lot of artists nowadays who like see how stuff like TikTok can really boost an artist, and they just kind of go head first into it um without a lot of quality control,
hmm
and like pump out shit as fast as they can.
Yeah, and
Um
becomes a quantity over quality thing where it's just
yeah,
you're just trying to
exactly.
find something to grab, and it kind of just dilutes everything else that you're putting out.
Yeah.
Definitely. Speaking of TikTok, my number's been fucking sucking on TikTok. I've been moving over to IG recently.
Dude, I think the whole fucking Donald Trump takeover has really fucked over a lot of creators.
It has. I've noticed the drop. That especially when TikTok initially shut down for like that day or whatever, the numbers really weren't there anymore. Like it's still I'll still have like the follower count, but like I'm not getting as much traction as I was like months prior or whatnot.
Yeah, I think they're pushing more like stuff that aligns with, the current president and all that.
Yeah,
And I
it's
think it
shit.
sucks.
It does suck. It sucks. To say it bluntly, it all fucking sucks at the end of the day. Oh God, dude. This fucking hellscape. Wake me up. Take the VR set head off, please.
When they did that, right, they pulled it down and then came back and they had that message like thanks to President Trump.
Yeah.
That was so fucking creepy.
Oh, I didn't like that.
So fucking like uncomfortable.
It was like kissing the ring at that point.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because like the whole thing with TikTok, the whole reason that they had a problem with it is because they were afraid that that China was going to collect data from them. But every other social media company and their mother
Oh
was
yeah.
collecting data from us this whole time.
And to a much like Facebook does it to a much greater degree.
Definitely. It's everything's incorporated with Facebook. It's a giant monopoly. They own
Yeah.
Instagram, they own WhatsApp, they own Messenger, all that shit.
And they sell way more data. It's crazy.
Yeah, they sell a lot of data. I've been backing off on my Facebook a lot. I don't think I've touched my Facebook maybe in like actual posting on Facebook maybe a year. But other than
Yeah.
that, I just do it for groups, like groups that I'm in to share my videos and shit.
I don't bother with Facebook when it comes to like promoting stuff.
Okay.
Um and like in fact like I don't know, I posted like at the beginning of Froginator, like there was this guy who DM'd our Facebook asking for if we were selling posters, and then got like really pissed at me for not responding to him. But like, I always say like our Facebook inbox is just loaded with spam.
Yeah, it's all just
Like you
fake
get all those
bots and
messages that's like we're gonna shut down your account in 24 hours. You gotta click this link. Like you get like hundreds of those a week. Um, and yeah, so I just don't fucking bother with it.
yeah, it's a headache, it's a hassle. I don't know. I'm probably gonna delete Facebook sometime soon, but I'll keep Instagram and all that fun shit.
I gotta delete the Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter's fucking bad. It's a cesspool.
Yeah, and I don't like Elon Musk.
I think I hate him more than I hate Trump, to be fair.
It's a hard choice there.
It is. It's like devil. It's literally like catch 22. Like which
Yeah,
is the worst? I don't
it's like
know.
six of one, half dozen of the other.
Yeah, they're both fucked human beings. I will proudly say fuck Elon Musk and fuck Donald Trump
For real.
for real. Um, all right, let's get on some more fun notes, dude. Let's talk about Bonginator, dude. So, your guys' last album, Intergalactic Gorbonga Death Pot. Also, you guys just got signed recently too to Testimony Records. Congratulations to that.
Dang. Yeah,
Like
we got signed like
a year ago, I think, right?
a little over a year ago, yeah.
Yeah,
Um
because you did the
and yeah,
repressings.
it's
Yeah,
been sick with them. Yeah, they're really cool.
nice.
And yeah, we're working on the new album. Gonna have that released through them. Fucking gonna be sick.
Fuck yeah, dude. I think I tuned into one of the streams that you had where you're just playing some of the music in the background. It's solid.
Thank you.
I'm really liking the one track I heard, Short Ass Bus.
Yeah.
That shit sounds tight. So what could we expect with the new Bonginator?
A lot more synth work.
Okay.
A lot of people were, asking me to like do more synth stuff, and I was nervous for a long time because like you don't, coming through as a death metal band, you want to appease to the death metal fans, but I feel like throughout the years that's kind of fizzled away where we have like I know who likes our music and I know what they like.
Mm-hmm.
Um and so yeah, we still have a bunch of death metal of course, but there's a lot more synth work and it's incorporated a lot more into the actual music like in the way Blood Diner is, right?
Yeah.
Where before we would have like intros and interludes. We dropped Blood Diner, and that's like a seamless transition, synthwave straight into a death metal song. And we have a lot more of that on the new album.
Hell yeah. Did you write all the synth parts for the like the inner tubes and all that stuff
Oh
before?
yeah, yeah, that's all
Nice.
me.
Were you more in how did you get first introduced to synthwave and that type of stuff, that style of music?
I'd say like I got into like electronic production because I was working on a project a few years ago with my buddy. Nothing ever came of it, but we were doing like really symphonic stuff, and he's really into electronic production. And he kind of showed me how to do all that. Now he works for Bleeding Fingers, which is like a film scoring conglomerate. I'm not really
Okay.
sure what to call it, but yeah, so he does like film scoring and composition. And he, kind of just watching him work on the songs, watching him mix and everything showed me kind of exactly how to build electronic music and like what kind of layering and what kind of like there's a lot of like small details that get forgotten about when you're used to writing like I'm used to writing metal, just drums, bass, guitar, not necessarily stuff with like a lot of samples and like a lot of smaller details.
Hmm.
So that kind of introduced me to that. And then like I mean I fell in love with synthwave just because I love like, 80s movies and horror movies and shit.
Hell yeah.
Um like I love John Carpenter. He has his own like synth projects. A
Nice.
lot of that.
A lot of Fabio
Anything that like
Frizzi and all that.
yeah, anything that like incorporates that time period. Not necessarily from that time period. Like I love a lot of modern shit that just like plays into that.
Nice. It's really cool to see like the way that you incorporate everything from synth into your 80s style movies and slashers and action films
Thank you.
into death metal. Kind of like they all blend somewhat like beautifully together,
Yeah,
especially on that track Blood Diamond. It really kind of layers nicely.
thank you.
Thank
And a
you.
huge influence for me in that regard is Fulci. Like when I
Nice.
was starting Bonginator, like I really, really liked how they did it,
Hmm.
like incorporating the horror and the synth into death metal. And so that was like that kind of like almost gave me the courage to kind of break that ice and go deeper into it.
Definitely, because it's also makes sense too with your guys like aesthetic too. Like you guys use a lot of neon colors and fluorescent colors and just
Oh yeah.
very bright in your face. Even like going back to like the first EP with it's like just you on the cover with the doink.
Hmm.
But it's
I always
all
like I really liked seeing like Party Cannon's logo on stuff.
yeah.
And
I
I
love
kind
seeing all
of
black logos and shit or white logos and it's just Party Cannon with the bright
yeah,
stuff. Killer.
I liked obviously I love Party Cannon, but I loved that bit of it more. The
Hmm.
fact that like among all this death metal stuff is like, yeah, these bright colors, this kind of like party atmosphere.
Yeah. Nah, dude, they're really killer too. Shout out Party Cannon.
Max, I was very close to having them on this year's Bonanza.
Oh, maybe next year.
But yeah, there was like a big festival in I think Spain that they picked up and I was like, yeah, yeah, go ahead.
All good, all good. And now we have a new visitor. We have Marceline here joining us.
Oh, what's up?
Hey, Marceline, say hi to Eric. No? Okay, you can get down now. You smell like shit. Cats always smell like shit. All right, so kind of closing out the interview here. What can we expect for the rest of 2025 with you, Bonginator, the Bonanza, and everything?
Well, I know right now, like I'm really just focused on the Bonanza. The the album's kind of at a point where like, like we did all the stuff we have to do, and now it's kind of in everyone else's hands. Um, so yeah, like right now my focus is just on the Bonanza. Probably more tours later in 2025. And
Nice.
yeah, I'm pretty sure the album will be out this year.
Hell yeah. What can people who are listening, what can they expect when they come to the Bonanza, whether it be their first time or not?
Like just like the coolest shit you can possibly imagine, right? Like we hold nothing back. No holds barred. Fucking,
Nice.
tons of weed, people partying all fucking night, camping, sick bands, just a great atmosphere, lots of friends.
Hell
It's
yeah.
gonna change your life.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah. And where can people go and find more information about the New England Death Metal Funtime Bonanza?
Follow NEDM Bonanza on Instagram or go to nedmbonanza.com.
Nice, nice. And there's still weekend passes available, I assume?
Totally, yeah.
Nice. Hell yeah. Alrighty. Well, Eric, anything else you want to plug in before we close it out? Any other projects or anything you got coming up?
No, I think that's it.
Word, dude. All right. Thanks again for taking the time to talk about it, dude. Congrats to everything that you got going on in your life with Bonginator and the Bonanza and everything. You're a true workhorse at this point. You are probably one of the biggest workhorses I've seen in like the underground death metal area, like I've seen in a long, long time. You are a true testament, and like you're almost like almost like a flagship leader in a sense for somebody to go and like see,
Yeah,
if
how
that
do you
makes
mean?
sense. Like you're more like you're. I definitely see you as like a focal leader, especially when it comes to like the New England area, the Boston area, when it comes to shows, events, and everything around just death metal. And it's a true
That's
testament to
sick.
you
I
guys and doing
appreciate
really
that.
killer shit.
Hell yeah, thank you.
Thank you, dude. And with that being said, thank you everybody, and we'll close this out as I always do with a nice fresh packy right here. And I don't
Sweet.
have a lighter. Oh, you got a little one there too?
I got a little roach right here.
Nice, nice. All right, everybody. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.
Peace out.